What's up, guys? We're back with a brand new video. In today's video, we'll be doing the first day of free agency recap. I'll be doing this all over the whole trade period from day one all the way to the end of the 2021 trade period. Just recapping what happened today, what moves, what everything, like all the player movements, the rumors that could happen until the last day. Now, the trade period actually does stop on weekends, so we'll have to, I'll have to continue this on Monday. But either way, this is the first day of free agency, and there was some pretty decent big moves that we had to talk about and potential moves that could happen. So without further ado, we'll get into the video. But before we do, make sure to follow my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel because we are so close to 800 subscribers. Now, the first official free agent signing was actually Jake Kelly to the Bombers, which seemed like a great pickup for the Bombers. They get someone they can lock down. They're really missing a lockdown defender back there. With the Michael Hurley injury, Jake Kelly can play on smalls and talls. He's a hard nut. He'll be great in this Bombers back line because it's something that they are actually missing in that back line. They have a lot of rebounders, but they don't have a lot of lockdown defenders down there. Laverde and James Stewart have had to play a lot of that role, and this should allow Jordan Ridley to be able to roll off and play an intercepting role, kind of like a Jake Lever or an Aliir that we did see this year. So expect this to absolutely break out a player like Jordan Ridley from this Jake Kelly move. This is almost like when Melbourne brought in Adam Tomlinson a couple of seasons ago to play as a lockdown defender in that back line. Even though he did get injured, it ended up being Harrison Petty either way, which seems like it's a great move for the Bombers, and can't wait to see how he fits into their back line. This also will be a 3-year deal to the Bombers, which will land the Crows a third-round selection, which is pretty good value for Jake Kelly. The next official deal of the trade period was actually Mabior Chol leaving the Richmond on a 4-year deal to the Gold Coast Suns, which is a big pickup. It will help him fill the role of a backup ruckman. I'm not sure when Jared Witts comes back, but they had a really big ruck issue, and he has the ability to actually be a ruckman, as we saw in spurts this year with the Tigers. But also he can play as a forward. So when their team's fully fit, you could see him playing as almost a centre-half forward, Ben King playing as the deepest, and that might kick Sam Day out of the lineup, but there's a lot of rumours that Ben King actually will be leaving the Suns either this year, but most likely next year, which could really affect their team. But with bringing him, that means they at least have Sam Day and Mabior Chol that they can rely on to kick goals if he does end up leaving. But this is a really good move, and the Richmond Tigers actually will be getting a third-round selection, I think, or a second-round selection. I just know it's a 38, so I don't know what round that's in, but they will be getting picked 38 at this stage, which is pretty big for a player like Mabior Chol, which means that he's probably on some significant coin, but the contract details haven't really been brought out yet. Be expected to be around 500 to possibly 600k. The other really big news from today is also that George Stewart did get his papers lodged for the move to the Blues. So this is really, really big because, he had some grunt. He's a great tackler. He's a hard nut, the footy, and can really, bring into their midfield group, which is not that great depth-wise. They have the stars in there, but, their fifth and fourth midfielder, was like Ed Kerno, which is, he's pretty good, but you don't want to be relying on that. And when they've got to bring in eventually Adam Chera and then bring in George Hewitt as their, third and probably fourth best midfielders, that's really great to see. George Hewitt will be going to Carlton on a 4-year deal if Sydney don't match, which you don't expect them to, but Sydney do have until Monday to, match the deal, which will be interesting to see what happens there. Some interesting news coming out of the Suns camp also is that Darcy McPherson, who's a young, exciting small forward, who apparently does have a bit bigger contract than people are probably expecting, and Suns are actually looking to dump the contract on a team. So there's rumours that Suns are going to pair up a pick, and I think like a pick 19 or something, and send it to North Melbourne, where North Melbourne do get some return in a pick and a young, exciting small forward, which will help because they really did like a small forward. We all thought Jane Stevenson was going to be that for him, but it actually happens that, they're actually trying to run Jane Sanders as a midfielder. But the trade from this situation, which did come out, was that it's been floated that it's a future second or third round selection from North Melbourne, sent up to Gold Coast for Darcy McPherson and pick 19, which is, in my eyes, this is a great move if North Melbourne actually do pull this off. They're getting a young, small forward, which could fit perfectly into the team. Even though he is on some money, it won't affect their salary cap because their salary cap is one of the lowest in the whole league. Plus, they get another pick inside the 20s, which would be a great pickup for North to get some more young talent in. Also today, it did get announced that the West Coast actually were acquiring about backup Bulldogs ruckman Jordan Sweet, who did play a fair couple of games this year and did look pretty nice at times. Now he's a mid-age player and he's just there just in case Nick Naitanui does get injured. They're currently pretty low in their ruck stocks after Nathan Vardy and then last year Tom Hickey. Both have now left the club, which sees them in a bit of a ruck situation if Nick Nat does go down. And Nick Nat is a pretty injury-prone player, even though he has played some pretty good footy. But he's still in reduced game time, so they don't want to risk him too much. But this could be a good move just for some ruck depth. You wouldn't expect it would cost too much to get him over. Also today, it did come out that uncontracted Richmond midfielder who is 22 at age, Patrick Nash, has come out and said that he's been attracting interest from St Kilda, and some other clubs he has been talking to, which is pretty good because I didn't think he deserved to get delisted. He played a few games, he looked good when he did play, but just must have just fallen out with Richmond, and obviously Richmond didn't like what they see, but he's 22 years of age and it'll be good pickup for St Kilda if they do end up going this way with Patrick Nash. It's a real nothing to lose situation, but it's nothing confirmed yet. It's just, some rumours. The only other real news that came out for this first day of the free agency period is that Darcy Fort, the uncontracted Geelong ruckman, has been getting some interest from Brisbane Lions. We obviously know that, Oscar McInerney is their standalone ruckman, and even though, he is still developing, they sometimes can't rely on him all the time and he might need a rest here and there, but they don't really have any other ruck stocks after Archie Smith's retirement. So Darcy Ford is about 28 years of age and it'll cost them nothing to go there, and it could be a good backup for him. So that is the end of the first day of free agency. It's a pretty, dull time. It's always the first day is a bit slow, but good to see some deals get over the line early on in this trade period. But can't wait to see when the actual trade period does start on Monday. But, free agency is always a great start, to get things warm before, the waters really start to get thrown around with actually some trades, and we see where picks go and all that stuff. So make sure to drop a like and a subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys.